Okay.
Okay. Well, we are live now. It says.
Yay, it does say that. Look at us. Woo! And are we on time? Oh my God, we're right
Yes.
on time.
Are we not
Excellent.
usually on time? Is that because I haven't been on?
It's amazing what happens when Barb shows up. All the shit that
Yes,
actually goes
everything
right.
comes together.
Hello, 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 Facebook land. Oh my gosh, it is our last High Five Live of the year. So it's going to be a good one. And I'm super excited to connect with the High Five team tonight and everybody out there in Facebook land and talk about holidays. And one of those things that we want to talk tonight about is holiday stress.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is Barb Moses, CEO and founder of High5 Leadership. Occasional guest participant on High5 Lives.
He is our guest host tonight.
Just saying.
Yeah. And you know what? I appreciate you guys inviting me back after such a long time away. And yeah. And
That's funny.
am excited to be here tonight because I've missed everybody. We have had, so just to take a moment, we have had a busy year here at High5 Leadership. And we've had something like 600 people through our 3-day programs this year and lots of travel. I was in Toronto last week. So it's been amazing and we are just getting started.
Just getting started, baby.
Just getting started, yeah. We got so much more that we can do. And yeah, 2020. So setting our vision, we are setting our vision for 2020 because everybody likes to have 2020 vision, right?
Boo.
I've been working for hours on that one, Michelle. Thanks for your support.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Thank
That joke.
Too fun, too fun. All right, so for those of you out in Facebook land, as we get started, again, our topic tonight is all around the holidays. But one of the things that we know about holidays is that for a lot of people, they are stressful. The family, right, dynamics, and you know, you get to see the uncle that's a little bit uncle-ish, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how do you handle that? How do you handle the stress of the holidays? And they're supposed to be, right, the most joyful times, and yet we're so busy. And how do we get through all of that? So that's our topic for tonight, and some tips and keys for handling stress on the holidays. So we would love for you to type in your comment about any holiday stress you have that you would love for us to talk about this evening, and any type of tips that you have for handling holiday stress. So that is where we're going to start tonight. And I open the floor to my team about holiday stress. Anybody got a good tip for handling holiday stress?
Yeah. I don't do stuff that doesn't bring me joy anymore. So there was definitely a point.
Bye-bye then.
There was a point in time where I would make it all, worry about everyone else and then stress myself out or this or that. And so if it's not going to bring me joy, I don't do it. And that doesn't mean, and a lot of times that means I don't do the same thing every year, because one year I may be all over it and the next year I'm like, I don't want to do that this year. So, and then maybe it comes back. I don't know. But if I already know ahead of time it's not going to bring me joy, I'm like, nope, we don't need to do that.
I love that, Chad. And I was thinking about this the other day about traditions, right? And the fact that it's okay to let some traditions go, and you may bring them back, like you just said, and it's okay to have new traditions. And one of the things that's, I don't remember who I was talking to, but they were talking about their mom, and their dad had died over the last year. And so they were, worried about the holiday, and the first holiday after losing somebody, as most of you probably know, it's the toughest holiday, right? And the conversation was about the fact that it's not ever going to be the same. And so it's okay to do something different and to create a different boy, that's a hard word for me, tradition that's different. And in this particular case, when they finally talked to the mom, she just wanted to go hang out with her friends and do something completely different. She didn't want the big Thanksgiving. And it's okay to ask people what they want. I think that's the big one, right? What do you want? And it doesn't have to always look like what it did, right? It's the old story of the woman who cuts the end off the roast because that's what they always did. And then they get back to great grandma and it was because the pan was too small, right? But because we always did it. So beautiful. Do stuff that brings you joy. Love it. Who else?
I got one.
Yeah.
People forget with the holidays, and I'm renowned for it. It's about who you're with. I mean, we look at time. We're worried about getting here, but we forget about the whole day. We're worried about those little segments where we're supposed to be, not realizing that we should be right here, right now.
It's beautiful, Adam. And when we are with somebody, be here, right? It's exactly what you said. Absolutely. Because it's about quality, not quantity. So is there pressure that I need to stay or be there a certain amount of time and all of that versus what are we doing to connect? We'll talk about that a little bit later about what can we do to really connect with the people rather than, oh, how's the weather? How are things going? Yeah. Cool. Great one, Adam.
We deal with it in a different way where we let the girls choose what they want to do.
Yeah, really. So say more.
Yep. So like for Christmas dinner, I had a specific Christmas dinner every single year. And there's traditions on Casey's side that had them every single year. So every single year that the girls have been old enough to choose, they pick dinner. Like we've had a taco bar, we've had pizza, we've had fancy and had prime rib and deliciousness everywhere. We've had just Brenner all day. We've had a hot dog bar where we just make it all in the morning and they get to choose. And then we know that they're going to eat and we don't have to deal with it. If everybody wants to come to our house for Christmas, which we usually do, Christmas morning is always at our house with the kids, and the kids get to choose what we have out, and they get to wear their jammies all day, and they get to leave a mess all day, and we don't even worry about it. We all just stay in our jammies, drink coffee, eat whatever they choose, and there's no stress about it.
Wow, it's Christmas at my house every day then.
Right?
If that's the rules. Oh, just kidding. That's awesome. Jen, that is so cool that you let them do that. Because isn't that what it's supposed to be about?
Yeah. That's the magic part of it. That's the joy of it. And it's just, there's no stress. That's the best part. There's no stress.
You know, I think about my mom and how stressed out she would get because it was supposed to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That tree is not fluffed, and there's like 9 ornaments on the same branch, and lights are all over the place. But that's their tree. That's how they want it. Live your best life, girl.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how you want it. Deal. It's their tree. Our Christmas tree used to match our living room. Christmas tree was, what's it called? Flocked. So it was white because we had white carpet. And then the ornaments were gold and I don't know, green or whatever. Cause it was 70s and gold and brown and orange and whatever. But yeah, our Christmas tree used to match our living room. And it used to make me so sad that I couldn't decorate the Christmas tree.
And so now I'm like, Jen, I do not care. All I do, I put the tree up, I put the lights on. Since they were tots, they've been putting their ornaments on wherever, however. And of course, when they're wee ones, they're all around the bottom.
We have 4 Christmas trees, and they
Yeah.
get to decorate every one of them except for one, which is my tree. Because Mama has her own tree, so I get to do my own tree, but we have 4 trees.
Mama's got her joy too.
Yeah.
Mama's got her Martha Stewart tree. And it
No,
brings
one of the traditions that I started with my boys early on was when we had the privilege of being able to travel a lot and places all over the world. And so one of the things that we did as a tradition was wherever we went, we would look for some kind of an ornament that represented where we went that we could then hang on the tree. And then we could talk about whenever they were putting them up on the tree, we could reminisce back about where we were and what our memories were about where that ornament came from. So that was always a fun tradition that we just sort of happened upon, decided one time that, what do we want for a souvenir and that we could connect back to every year. And so that's what we did there.
Great idea.
Hey, David Walker responded and said, so we're talking about dealing with stress, and he said, I'm moving. He said, I got a transfer to South Florida and will be moving over the holidays. Stress, ! But it will be joy in the end. And then he also said, I've taught my kids about giving, so we give to receive joy. So that's their tradition.
Nice.
Love that. I feel you, but I'm only moving around the corner. Well, moving closer. Moving a little bit further than me.
High5 community member extraordinaire Marla Sullivan says her tip is to be in the moment and be grateful for time with family and or friends.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. That's it.
Yeah, it all comes back right that subject we love to talk about. Gratitude.
What's it, BMO? What's it?
Gratitude is the express elevator to joy.
Yes, it is.
Joy too.
It is impossible to be sad and unhappy when you're focused on gratitude.
It is indeed.
That's what that means. All right, so we digressed into traditions, but let's talk about the stress. Let's talk about Chad already talked about his solution to the family stress for the holidays, and that he just plain and simple doesn't do what he doesn't want to do anymore, what doesn't bring him joy anymore. And let's face it, if it's not bringing us joy, it's not going to bring the people around us joy, because we're going to be less than awesome, right? And so it's kind of beneficial for everybody if it brings us joy or you joy. Yeah. And we're adults now. I'm gonna assume that most of the people watching this are adults. Yeah. All right. Chronologically, we're adults.
I'm gonna point down to your husband where he is on my screen.
That's where he is on mine too.
All right. So chronologically, most of us are adults, and it's okay. It's okay to take care of yourselves and enjoy your holidays. I mean, what's the point if you're all stressed out about it? And honestly, if you feel like everything has to be perfect and you do you, it's all good. Just take time for you. Even if it's 5 minutes in the shower to take deep breaths, shut off your brain, calm yourself, do that. It's okay. It's not going to make or break any celebration, any decoration, any food. At least take time for you to calm yourself, breathe, quiet your brain, and relax a little bit. It really is that simple, and it makes a huge difference.
Do that.
Yep.
Yeah, and really, as you all are saying, really think about the things that you do that are, and if something's causing you stress, just ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Am I doing it because somebody else expects me to do it? Or am I doing it because I want to do it? And if somebody else expects you to do it, then start to ask why. Is it because mom always did it, or right, whatever that is, and just check in. And like Chad said, I mean, if it's not bringing you joy, it's not making you happy, do you really need to do it? So Jen and I were talking before we went live about holiday cards, and she is like Johnny on the spot, gets those out, and I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that brings you joy
Very much so.
to send out a picture of her family. Me? Yeah, no. You ain't gonna get a card from me. It's just not gonna happen. And if it does, then celebrate it, because there are those rare occasions in those years. It's like, oh, I want to do cards this year. And what's funny is I love to get them, so send them on.
Yeah.
But I don't need to send them anymore. And there was a time in my life where you had to send cards, or you had to send them by a certain date, so they got there on Christmas. So what if you send cards in February and send Valentine's Day cards, right? What does it matter? Yeah.
You know, that makes me think of one year. One year, my second wife, the mother of my children, chose not to take the Christmas tree down after Christmas for a while. And I was being the sarcastic butt that I used to be, not anymore, but used to be. I said, so we're just going to leave it up all year. And she said, maybe. And so it became the Valentine's tree. And then it became the St. Patty's Day tree. So she just kept decorating it for different holidays. It was decorated with hearts for Valentine's Day, and then it was decorated with so she made her point, like, okay, but you know what? Who cares if you send your cards in February or you keep your tree up until June? You know what? If that brings you joy, knock yourself right out.
Absolutely. As a mother of 3 kids and family was spread out, I used to send Christmas cards or holiday cards. Sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas, they would go out and, looking for the perfect pictures and figuring out the perfect message, and then the ordering and all this. And I believed that it was more personal if I wrote on them. So there was all that too. And then at a certain point, I just realized I do not enjoy this. It actually, because I love the holiday season from Thanksgiving through New Year's. I love it. It's my time. It's my world. And all that production for the Christmas cards was sucking the life out of it for me. And I realized that I was doing it for other people. It had absolutely nothing to do with me. Jen, I'm not saying that that's your story, but that was my story. I was doing it for other people because other people were sending me cards. I'm like, oh my God, I look just so like a heinous human if I'm not sending them cards too. And then I stopped sending the cards, and I was so much calmer and happier. And you know what? I still got the other cards. So I'm saying.
Yeah. Mine, I don't put that much effort in. Like, if you guys should have gotten my Christmas card by now. I hope you did. Because Barb got hers. But,
we did.
Okay, yeah. So as you could tell from that Christmas card, that's usually the round I usually go every year. And we did, the Goldbergs Hamilton style. It's just exciting and it's fun. And people will text me and they're like, you chose that picture? And I'm like, do you see us all smiling? Do you see how
we having fun?
Like,
right.
We look good and we know it. We don't care. The gaudier, the better. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Other thing that I notice, this is obviously something I feel strongly about, so I'll just keep talking until somebody else does. It's just kidding. when I became a parent, I actually the father of my children, told our parents that we weren't going anywhere. This was our first Christmas together in our home, and we were going to establish our own traditions. And oh my God, the fallout was crazy. And we don't have a big family. It was my mom and his mom and dad, and then we've each got a sibling on one side. Each got a sibling, and so it's not like there were oodles of people clamoring to see us and the kiddo, but we were just like, no, we're going to stay home. We're going to establish our own traditions. And that was probably the hardest thing I did for the holidays. But again, I was doing all the things that I was doing to please other people. And it's okay. And I said, we love you and we would love to see you at the holidays. If you want to come to us, that's awesome. And they did, and it all worked out just fine. But initially, everybody was so worked up about the change and, oh my God, the traditions and, what we usually did. And nobody ever took a minute to think about, you know what, the outcome's the same. To Adam's point, it's just about being with people you love and seeing them. And if they come to you, great. If they don't, it doesn't mean you love them any less. It doesn't mean you don't want to be with them. It just means that it's okay to take it easy on yourself. Holidays are stressful enough without working to please everyone else too.
That reminds me of one of our recent student graduates who, as a result of going through our class, made the choice to reconnect with parents that she had not spoken to for several years. And she was very, very happy about the fact that they made this reconnection, but then she started creating stress for herself about, okay, and now that I've reached out and put the olive branch out there, now they're going to want to be with me, and I'm not sure I'm ready to be physically in their presence. And so she started creating all these stories like, how do I say no? And it really generated some interesting conversation with her teammates because she was like, over the last several years that we haven't been in touch, we've created our own traditions and we have our own thing we like to do. And everybody and her team supported her and said, you know what? It's okay to just say, look, this is what we do now. And if you want to be part of this, we welcome you to come in, or maybe we can, we've already got plans for the holidays and we're going to do our thing, but we'd love to see you next week after Thanksgiving, or, we can go have coffee or whatever. So yeah, you're not required to do anything. We're all adults and we get to make the choices. And that's the challenging part for a lot of people is, but I might piss somebody off, right? Or I might make somebody mad because I'm choosing to do my own thing and they might think I'm selfish, whatever. You know what? Do you?
And you know what? Let's face it. That whole I might piss somebody off or they'll think I'm selfish. For a lot of people, that's just a Tuesday.
And the bottom line is you can't control it. You can't control how they react to any of that.
That's right.
So, I had that. So, when I was growing up, all the family was here in San Diego, minus some on my dad's side. So everyone was here in San Diego, and the holiday traditions was at my grandparents' house. Every year, without fail, that's what it was. And then people started moving away, and then there's some in Vegas, and then there's some in LA, and then they're all over the place. And then the first year or so that happened, everyone made the effort to get back together, and then it changed, and then it just kept changing from there. And so there's been years that I've gone out or it was LA when my parents were up there for a long time. That was my first priority. There's been years that I've gone out to Vegas to spend the holidays out there. Nobody from Vegas has ever come back down to San Diego. And I know that there's hard feelings that I don't make that trip every year. And I don't, because I also have other traditions that I created when everybody made the choice to move away, which is cool. Everybody do what makes you happy. And I'm going to do what makes me happy.
Perfect.
We have lots of Awesome. Well, we got some new, I mean, we always have lots of awesome people on here, but we got some new fans.
I invited
Yeah.
about 3,000 people.
Is that really? That's what we got? All
Yeah.
right.
We got 15 of them.
Hey, Carrie Martin was watching. She's a high school friend. Gary.
Hi, Gina Block. Hi,
Uh,
Leslie Pyle. Yeah, Leslie Tyndall. We got a bunch of high school people.
Yay. Tommy Smith. Hi, Tommy.
Back down to San Diego, and I know that there's hard feelings that I don't make that trip every year.
Whoa.
Hey, what?
Sorry.
What?
Because I also
That's
have
me.
other,
Wow.
I'm like,
Oh my
that
God.
was
I just went
going
back
on
in
there.
time.
My time machine, it works.
I'm refreshing the page. I apologize for that.
Nice. Way to ruin High5 Live there, Jen. Nice job.
Nice. Jen's the reason we can't have nice things.
She is the reason we cannot have nice things. It's over for you. You're out.
Just sit here and look pretty.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
exactly. And you do it well. Oh,
Thanks.
April Wren. Hi, April Wren. Wow.
People have to realize.
I love that people. There's so many people. Hey, there's a Salim Taylor sighting. Hello,
Salim, what's up, brother? I love you, man.
Hello. Yeah, lots of fun people on here. And again, everybody's always fun, but it's nice to see new names, new faces, as it were. But I guess we're not really seeing their faces, but you know what I mean. And Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Brill Atkins. What else? What were we talking? We were talking about stress. And all right, let's do this. Chad, you already talked about the one thing you do is that you stop doing things that don't bring you joy. So what else does anybody have about alleviating the holiday stress?
Boo.
Actually makes me think of the movie Christmas Vacation. When Clark Griswold's dad said, I had a lot of help from Jack Daniels.
Yeah, I was just saying.
It's jokes though. We here at High5 are not those people.
We're not teetotalers, but yeah, we're not those people.
Yeah, we're not.
My family Turks and Caicos for Christmas and not even going to be in this country.
Ooh, nice.
We're just going to leave and just celebrate Christmas with us.
Excellent. What else? What else do you have? What do you guys got? What do y'all got? I am absolutely always 100% certain to take an hour or two to myself. Whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, I will go sit in my room and watch one of my favorite movies and just be quiet. There was one year I did this. This is kind of a funny story. There was one year I did that, and my mom was there at the time, and there was a whole bunch of drama happening, whole bunch of drama going on. It's my mom and my husband and my brother. Although my husband was kind of an innocent bystander, he's just having drama thrown at him. Anyway, I left to go get away and went in my room to just watch a movie and relax and be by myself. My mom followed me back there and said, what's going on? What are you doing? Why are you so upset? I'm like, I am absolutely not upset. I am just here to have a little time and a little quiet and get away from the drama. And then she proceeded to tell me about why the drama was occurring. And to which I responded, I don't think you understand what I just said. So sometimes the moral of the story is you take time for you and other people aren't going to understand it or like it, and it's still okay.
Yep.
And
I have definitely done that. And not even necessarily that long. Just all of a sudden it's like, you know what? I'm taking 10 minutes. I'm going away. I'm going to walk away, and I'm just going to decompress just because it doesn't even have to be drama. Just, my introversion or whatever will be overwhelmed. And I'm like, I just need 10 minutes for my brain to calm down and decompress. And then I'm good. Then we're back. And then I'm back in it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to be done peopling for a minute.
It is okay for that. It is. Yeah.
What about High5 community out there, Facebook land? What do y'all do to give yourself a breather, alleviate your stress during the holiday season? But let's face it, even if you're not looking for it, it finds you at this time of year. It's there whether you want it or not. Sometimes self-inflicted, sometimes other people. So what do you do? What do you do to alleviate that for yourselves? Anybody?
Bueller.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Okay.
Well,
You're muted.
Well, while we're seeing if we get any responses for that, I always just keep checking in with myself too. So actually, we were getting groceries. We were at Costco. Don't talk about stress.
A million of your closest friends and samples.
Yeah. Oh my God. And yeah, I think we were there for about a minute, and he was already done. And I just kept telling him, like, just keep walking slowly and keep breathing. We're fine. We'll get through this. I'm just going to keep walking slow and just make my way through. We'll get through it. It'll be fine.
Just keep swimming.
If we hadn't bought groceries today, taco bar. That's my new one. Next year it is all taco bar.
For real. Like, just pick something that brings you joy as far as food wise, that is not going to stress you out.
Yeah.
And just make it. And whoever shows up, there it is. It's delicious. They can make their own stuff, or they can bring their own stuff. Like, we still have traditions that we normally make. Like, we make homemade pretzels, and, well, I don't make anything. Let's just be clear. Okay. Casey makes all the stuff. But they're like, we're hungry for this. Perfect. Like, one year it was handballs. They're the most delicious little things in the earth to me. I wanted them the following year. Yeah. Kids wanted hot dogs. Guess what we had? We had hot dogs.
And I think that's...
What did you just say? You had what balls?
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
No, before that.
They're called ham balls. I'll send you the recipe.
No.
But it's a pound of ham and a pound of pork grind together, and then it's yummy sauce over top. And you make them into meatballs.
That is what I thought you said. You know what? I am good. I will take your word for that.
Sorry for the people who don't eat pork, but they're really good.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah.
Again, just ruined Facebook Live. So sorry.
Once again, Jen's the reason we don't get nice things.
You know, Barb's going to start showing up to these religiously. She's going to take away our Zoom privileges.
Yeah, but you see, she's gone. When BMO's away, the kids will play.
Yep. We are all grounded.
Yeah. We are grounded. Yeah, it's time out for all of us. You know, when you talk
I'm innocent here. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you ain't innocent.
You're guilt by association.
Far from it.
But you know, I'm gonna transition here to because you know everything needs to be a lesson. I'm going back to stories. You guys are talking about, you know, ham balls and hot dogs and taco bar and all this shit for Chris, and I'm sitting here, I'm getting the heebie-jeebies going, that's not Christmas, that's not the holidays, you can't eat that shit on the holidays. We eat turkey and we eat stuffing, and you know, and I got stories.
The family show, dude. The family show.
Whatever. I got stories about what it is, what is and what is not the holidays for me, right? So the holidays for me, Thanksgiving has a very particular set of parameters around the food, right? And it's funny because so tonight must be the night I talk about my second wife. You know, her family was never about tradition. Michelle loves this. Her family really wasn't about tradition around the holidays at all. And they were the same. They're like, you know what, Thanksgiving spaghetti sounds good. Chinese buffet, hell yeah. And I was like, No, that's wrong. That's not Thanksgiving. What are you doing?
No.
What's going on here? And it's so funny how deep that programming and those stories are for me about what it really means to be those meals and the food and what and the environment that creates, and all my memories and everything is so much tied around the food. It just really hit me. And when you guys were talking about that, I'm like, what are you even talking about? That's not how the holidays work. You want to talk about creating stress? Talk some more about hot dog night for Thanksgiving. That's gonna create some stress. I'm gonna need 2 hours of Michelle's downtime
To recover from that
Not
story.
for Thanksgiving, only for Christmas. Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, that makes it so much better now.
Yes, because Thanksgiving we have Friendsgiving, and like our house just throws up delicious fall decorations and turkeys and stuffing and mashed potatoes and the deliciousness. But Christmas is theirs. They get to choose it all,
I feel
and
so
I just sit back and love that.
You can visit for Thanksgiving, but not for Christmas.
right. Yeah.
All the people for
I've
Thanksgiving.
got 30 more days to come to grips with what the hell you've done to Christmas. So, but
You
know,
have a good time at my house, Kevin.
those traditions though, that programming really runs deep, right?
It does. Absolutely.
You know, so Michelle's family does appetizers and just does snacks and stuff, and we just have a great time. And it's just everybody's just created their own little truths, right?
And that's what creates so much of that tension and stress is this is the way it has to be. And if it doesn't line up with that exact way, that exact picture, then everything's gone. Because if mashed potatoes weren't at Thanksgiving dinner, then screw Thanksgiving dinner. We might as well cancel.
You ruined Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
Why we can't have nice things.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Barb. Welcome back.
Thank you.
We didn't do anything.
It's all Kevin's fault.
Nothing's going on.
Yep.
I've heard it all. So has a whole bunch of other people. So as we're talking about changing things, something that's been really interesting in my life. So one of my big joys at the holiday was baking. Something I did with my mom. And I mean, I fed everybody with lots of sweets. But since I've stopped eating sugar and flour, I don't bake anymore. And it was one of the things I had to be okay with, is letting that go. And now it's finding other things that I do during the holiday instead of that. And checking in with my stories about, well, you know, maybe I should still eat stuff that I don't eat at the holidays. It's like, no, it's not who I am anymore. That's not what I choose. And it's just about me making that choice. But it really is about being willing to let go as we continue to evolve in our lives. So that was an interesting one, though, to let go for me.
Yeah, and adjust and create compromises. So this year I told Ish, I'm like, I want to cook. Like, I'm not cooking this year, period. Don't want to do it. And last year we did. And when it came closer, he wanted his family to come over here. So we actually have 2 Thanksgivings happening. And I'm like, okay, if that's important to you, then we will make that happen. We're either ordering delivery or we're buying all pre-cooked food. And that's what we did. So I've got a Thanksgiving meal ready to go, and all I got to do is heat everything up. Cool. We made it work for both of us.
Nice. And it's really that simple.
Great way to do it.
Yeah. And next year, maybe I'll want to cook again. I don't know. I'll tell you next year. It doesn't need to look like what this year looks like.
It doesn't. Although, you know, I mean, there's something to be said for traditions, but who says that a tradition has to be the same thing every year? I mean, your tradition could be that you change it every year.
Yeah. And traditions are awesome. It's the rigidness, it's the inflexibility that then creates stress and strife and arguments, where now it's not being beneficial. When it's a tradition that brings everyone joy and everyone's happy and it has flexibility around it, now and everyone can be happy, that's awesome. if it's so rigid that it's just causing anguish, that's just another story that's not benefiting anybody.
Right.
That's all it is at that point.
Hey, I got a couple
When I
of
was-
comments. I got a couple comments from Facebook. William, our friend William, Barb's nephew William, says, I used to take the dogs out for a walk. I'm a little more of an ambivert, whatever that means, than people realize sometimes. Grabbing the dog of the house and going for a walk while the streets are empty was always a ton of fun for me. And then he said, childhood for me used to be playing Mortal Kombat for a little bit with Catherine. I don't know who Catherine is. And Rachel Baxter says, John and I say hi. We cook delicious things. Curious? Ask the chef.
I'm
Yes.
going to John's house. I'm going to go to John and Rachel's house.
Yeah.
Ambivert's kind of like both introverted and extroverted.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Which
In and out.
that's
Yeah.
definitely Will.
Definitely will.
David
Marla-
Walker says that's a great thing, that it does not have to be the same. You know, you're every year you don't have to have the same thing. That's a really great point, that whoever made that, Chad or Michelle, whichever of you made that point.
So Marla again says, do something to give back, which is an awesome way to de-stress, and to recharge your gratitude. If you're doing something to give back, in theory, it's potentially for people that don't have all the things that we have, and it would recharge your gratitude about how lucky we are, things that we have. Deanna Thompson says, potatoes matter.
Yeah, I saw that. And then did you see Marla's story about her giving back?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Right after our divorces, Marla and her current husband's divorces, their first Thanksgiving together, they had none of their kids. They invited a single soldier over for Thanksgiving with our beagle and his black lab. Probably one of her most favorite memories. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? And that being said, it would never occur to me to do that. I think all the time about things that I want to do to, in addition to what we already do just by being High5 leadership, but there are things that I want to do, and stuff like that just does not occur to me. And I think that's brilliant. Hi, Will. There's our ambivert.
Fabio. Hi, Fabio.
Our ambivert, Will.
I have a lot of background noise where I'm at, so I'm probably just going to mute.
Okay,
Thank you for
excellent.
wearing a beanie so we can't. Are you wearing a fur coat? Is that a mink?
No, that's just his hair at this point.
Is it a mink?
Oh my God.
Are you wearing a mink?
Sure.
Wait, no, leave his hair alone. His hair is
That's funny. Oh goodness.
Y'all are going to get a
All
side panel if you're not careful.
I love
So-
you, Willie.
I actually, at Thanksgiving used to be the tradition when I was a kid was to spend Thanksgiving at my dad's parents, and they were very she people. They had cocktail hour and appetizers and all the formal things, and we dressed for dinner, and they had a kids table, and so that's how I grew up. And then when I had kids and was with family who had kids, I had a kids table, and it occurred to me though, and I couldn't, and again, it was something additional that I had to deal with. I had to get another table. I had to set the table, blah, 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 whatever. And it occurred to me that I was doing the kids table because that was the tradition at my grandparents' house. And knowing my grandparents and my dad, frankly, the way I know them, they did a kids table because they didn't want to deal with us. They wanted us to be away and doing our own thing. And I actually enjoy my kids. And so the kids table went away a few years after I had that epiphany.
I always hated being relegated to the kids' table. I couldn't wait because I was one of the youngest. It's like I was always at the kids' table. It's like, no, I want to sit with the grown-ups.
Yeah, I remember the kids' table.
That's funny. One of the other traditions that we started fairly early on with the boys that I just love it. And Michelle, remind me that on Thursday we need to cut up some construction paper is on Thanksgiving, I would cut up strips of green and red construction paper. And I would ask everybody who was there for Thanksgiving to write one thing on a piece of construction paper that they were thankful or grateful for. And then we would turn it into a ring. And then we would make a chain, and we would hang the chain on the mantle or up the stairwell or whatever. And then everybody that came to the house between Thanksgiving and Christmas, if they came over to visit or anything, whatever, we would just ask them when they came in, we would have the strips of paper right there by the front entryway with a pen. And we would say, hey, before you leave, just write down one thing that you're thankful or grateful for. And we would add it to the thankful chain. And then on Christmas Eve, we would take the full chain apart. We would read all the things that we had been grateful for and thankful for, and all the people who were in our life were thankful for between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And it's a really cool way to just connect the kids back to the meaning of the holidays, which really isn't about the presents. It really is about being grateful. And that was a really cool tradition. And I don't remember why I started that. It just kind of came to me. And of course, here's one of the other things, and we talk about, because yes, everything is a lesson. We go back to I go first and personal responsibility and all those lessons that we teach. And when I first did it and I put it out there, everybody thought I was like, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? This is silly. And they did it to appease me. And then over time, it became something that they looked forward to. So, if there's something that you want to do, or some way that you want to celebrate, or that you want to, a tradition that you want to create that's meaningful to you, then do it and make it yours.
And that is a great idea, Kev, any time of the year, right? It doesn't have to be red and green.
Yeah.
It could be pink and purple construction paper, and
Green and white.
Yeah. So that's an incredible idea.
Kevin, when you said that, it's your presence comment, it's something stuck in my head. I don't know who said this, but a phrase that stuck with me. It's over the holidays. It's not about your presence; it's about your presence.
Right.
So,
yes.
Yes.
RESENCE.
And it's just about you being there, and people. That's what a lot of people are look forward to, is just you being there, because they haven't seen you. You don't. Plus, you get to look forward to seeing a lot of people you probably haven't seen. And we get so wrapped up with, like we were talking about, our different traditions. Exact. Thank you. Our traditions, that we forget that it's that person next to us that we haven't seen maybe in 2 years that we need to be more worried about than the mashed potatoes. Hot dogs sound good.
Right.
As long as we have Aunt Gwenda's jam, all is right in the world. Let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Taco bar. That's where it's at.
Taco bar.
I'm going taco bar next year.
I'm telling you.
I'm bringing my own. I'm bringing my own Thanksgiving dinner to Thanksgiving. So
Thanksgiving's keto this year for us, but
it's
Aunt Gwenda's jam. We're good.
It's about what we make it. Bottom line, we are 100% at choice of what our holiday is and how we show up. And the whole idea behind this conversation tonight is check in with your stories. If something is causing you stress, what is the story behind it? Is that story benefiting you? And if not, write a new story. And the best way to get rid of your holiday stress is to do a 7-day joyride.
Hey, of course it is.
If you have not heard about our new 7-day joyride challenge, and it can be for any 7 days that you choose, we are challenging you to come on a 7-day joyride with us. Take anything in your life that causes you stress, or that you just want to experience more joy in that area of your life, which means pretty much every area of our life, right? Because there's always the next level.
Really? Who wouldn't, really?
Yeah. Exactly. So come on a 7-day joyride. It's absolutely free, and it is an opportunity for you to just shift some perspective And if you are a graduate of one of our intensive programs, it's a great sustainability tool. It'll bring you right back to some of those learnings. If you're brand new to High5, it's perfect to get a feel for what we're about, and it works. I just finished my 7-day joyride, and the fact that they told me to get out of my apartment by January 20th. So that's really that I was walking over to see an apartment when I was gone
That's
a
where
little
you
bit
were.
ago. But I took you all with me. And it's available to you. But for this stuff to work, you got to do the work. And so that's why we want to give you the tools to do that. And could somebody throw out in Facebook the link?
I already did.
Chad.
Wow.
I was ready to go for the plug. You just beat me to it. So I was already
Nice.
ready to go.
Boom.
We're like a
nice
well-oiled
segue into the shameless
So
plug.
get to
That
the
was
next
awesome.
plug because I've got the next link ready to go.
Yes, the other one.
Excellent.
And all we're talking about
Ambassador program. Our ambassador program. If you are a graduate of our intensive class or any like intensive class, or maybe a platinum leadership training intensive, did some work with us back years ago in other programs. And you just love High5 because we love you. I know there's a lot of you that love us. You can become an ambassador for High5. And there are lots of reasons to become an ambassador. And the one that we're going to talk about right now is we are holding a Spread Joy contest for all of our ambassadors. Yes, Jen is spreading joy all over. And as an ambassador, once you sign up to become an ambassador, you can then share the 7-day joyride with somebody, or our Leading from the Inside Out mini course, which is designed for corporate and businesses. Every time you share that and they go through the program and they complete it, then you will get points. And here's the really cool thing. Are you all, hold on. The winner that spreads the most joy during the holidays. This whole promotion runs until January 19th. So throughout the entire holiday season, the person that spreads the most joy.
Drum roll.
It's a custom joy experience just for them from the High5 team member of their choice.
Kevin. Oh, Kevin.
And so
you guys are going to feel awfully silly when they pick me.
that person will either fly to us or we'll fly to them, and we will customize a joy experience for that person. Or they also could come to our, if they're not an Evolve graduate, they could come to our Evolve class, and we will take care of picking that up for them. But how cool is that? And the cool part is you get to spread joy. And the reason, in all seriousness, the reason that we put these tools together is we know that it's sometimes hard to explain what High5 is all about. And so we wanted a really easy way to just invite people into the High5 world. And so doing a joyride and inviting somebody else to do a joyride with you is the best way to do it, because you get to open up the conversation about what it really means to choose joy. Because bottom line, at the holidays and everything that we've talked about, that's what it's about. It's about choosing joy, because happiness is an inside job. Joy only comes from the inside. So when we choose it for ourselves, then we have it to give away to everybody else. But if we just stay stuck on the stories that keep causing us stress, yeah, it's not going to be so much fun. And so it really is about choosing joy and spreading joy during the holidays, during every day. Certainly it's not going to stop, but we invite you to become an ambassador, because we love you and we are so appreciative, grateful. Let's go with that. We're so grateful for you. And it really is about understanding that when we change our world, so when we keep doing the work and we keep finding the positive and we keep choosing joy, when we change our world, we change the world. And that's what it's all about, because this is what I want in my world. I want positive. I want people with smiles on their faces. I want people that are excited to be the difference maker in every relationship. So when you go and sit down for your Thanksgiving dinner, or whatever you do for Thanksgiving, and you are sitting across from somebody, don't ask them about something trivial. Just ask them, are you happy? What makes you happy? What was your biggest win from 2019? What's your word for 2020? What's your outcome for 2020? And have a real conversation, so that after that conversation, you will know something about them and you will know how to show up for them differently in their life at that next level. Because at the end of the day, when it's time for us to not be on this earth anymore, that's the shit that's going to matter.
Yep.
That's it. That's why we
Nobody's ever going to talk about what you served at Thanksgiving dinner.
No. And if they do, they're going to talk about the stuff that didn't go right that everybody's still laughing about and having a good time about.
That's a good story. Yeah.
Hey, David Walker's got a couple more comments here. He says, make hamburgers, relax the crowd. It's what we do with our guests. Also invite a person who is in need. I've done it many times. Love that idea. And no expectations, because expectations create stress.
David Walker, I love you.
I love
Brilliant.
you. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And I said it really is. It's about making commitments instead of having expectations. When we have expectations of people, but they don't understand what we want from them, that's when disappointment is guaranteed to happen.
And frustration and anger. Yep.
If everybody doesn't have the same picture,
right,
there's going to be a break in the action.
Yeah.
And somebody's going to go off to the room crying.
Yep. Right. And here's some perspective for y'all out there in Facebook land. If you can hear me, 7 billion people on the planet. Every one of them has a different picture, a different perspective. Just keep that in mind. I know. So we've talked a lot about not tonight necessarily, but we talk a lot about choosing it and whatever it is for you. And I know the reaction or the response from many people will be like, oh my God, but you don't understand my mother. Oh my God, you don't understand my mother-in-law. Oh my God, you don't understand what I'm dealing with my uncle. All those things. And when we have family gatherings and people are so irritated and frustrated and annoyed by the people they love, and you have 100% control over how you respond to that. Mom-in-law, Uncle Joe, Sister Sue, they're all going to be who they are. You know who they are. They've always been those people. That's how it is. You have 100% control over how you can respond to that. And if you make the choices to stay positive, focus on an outcome of having a great day, a great celebration, whatever, awesome time with your family, whatever that is, and you stay focused on that, that's what will happen. You have 100% control over that for you.
I'm going to tell on you, Michelle.
You are what you can tell.
When Michelle first took this kind of training several years ago,
yeah.
and I was a baby trainer. And I was doing my best to help her understand what she had learned. And she would say, but how do you do that? And my answer to her, and it got to the point where it just got silly. And I'd say, you're not going to like this. And she'd say, oh, I suppose I should just choose it. Exactly.
Oh, and there were times, I'm telling you, I got hostile. F you, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
It. Whatever.
You don't know my situation.
You don't know.
But it is.
But it really is true.
And then finally, I don't know what point, she turned the corner and she's like, I hate you. I was like, why do you hate me? She's like, you're right.
You're right.
I just got to choose it. And
Just
so those
gotta
of you,
choose it.
so for those, and I tell that story tongue in cheek because those of you that are out there that are telling yourselves the stories like, but you don't understand my creepy uncle and you don't understand my situation. Yeah, you're still at choice. And when you accept the level of personal responsibility and understanding that I get to choose every moment I'm at choice, it is game changer. It absolutely changes everything. And it requires a certain level of personal responsibility to say, you know what? I am at choice. I'm not a victim here. And that makes all the difference.
Take our power back, right?
Yep. Even at the holidays, and it's okay.
Take our power back.
And when you do, you change your world. And when you change your world, you change the world.
Oh, I wish we should trademark that.
We should. That's awesome. That's brilliant.
We should hashtag the Nike out of that one.
We can hashtag it. We're not going to trademark it.
All right. It is 8:30.
Hashtag.
It is 8:30 on the nose. We have had lots of conversation about traditions and alleviating stress. We got in all the shameless plugs. Does anybody have anything else?
We didn't though. We need one more shameless plug.
We do?
Anybody who is a graduate of our intensive or any intensive class, it's not Black Friday, it's Joy Friday here at High5 Leadership. We are making a deal with our Evolve class, which is our second class after the intensive. It's available to everyone who is an intensive.
Almost unheard of offer.
It is.
If you don't do this, there's something wrong with you.
So it is only available Joy Friday through Joy Monday, Cyber Monday, 4 days. The order form will be up, and it is $1,500. That is 35% off, and yeah, it will never be
$125 a month on a payment
for 12 months. And we'll do that for you.
That's like one really nice meal out that could change your life forever.
Yeah.
And you can use that. There's 2 class dates in 2020. And if you can't make it 2020, you may do it in 2021. But you're going to want to do it sooner rather than later. That is my last shameless plug because
there it is.
Serve to evolve.
Boom.
Boom. Drop the mic. All right. It's been a blast being with you all. We will be back in January with our High5 Live. Look for some new stuff from us because we are keeping it fresh and making it real.
Hashtag just getting started.
Just getting started. And hashtag choose joy.
Choose joy.
And enjoy my challenge. All right, guys.
Happy holidays, all.
Have a good holiday, you guys. Love you all.
For every last